ARMY splashy. Jungkook praised Jimin as a person who strengthened him. Jungkook and Jimin's names are back in the spotlight after a shocking and heartwarming moment surfaced on social media. In an opportunity captured on camera, Jungkook did not hesitate to call Jimin a figure who always strengthened him, a recognition that made the ARMY around the world moved and proud. This compliment is not trivial. Jungkook is known as a person who rarely openly expresses his deepest feelings in public. But this time, his tone was full of sincerity when he mentioned that Jimin's presence had always been one of the important factors that kept him strong, even when the world seems to be pressing from all directions. ARMY, who heard the statement, immediately flooded the community platform with emotional phrases. Many wrote that they could feel how deep the relationship of brotherhood and trust between the two was. For fans, Jungkook's words serve as a kind of validation that what they have seen so far is not just an ordinary interaction between group mates, rather, a much closer bond. Their moments together on stage, rehearsals, to personal journeys now feel more meaningful after this recognition. Not a few ARMY also linked the statement to BTS's recent difficult times, especially when the members are focusing on their individual responsibilities. Jimin, who is known to be full of empathy and warmth, turned out to be a real support figure for Jungkook, something that has left many fans even more amazed at the dynamics of both. This simple admission proves one thing, that behind the glitter of the stage, the cheers of the audience, and the pressure of the industry, there is a genuine friendship that keeps them firm. And for ARMY, that's the reason why they continue to love BTS, because sincerity is real and can be felt. Jungkook's statement that Jimin is a figure who always strengthens him is not just a sweet word in front of the public. Behind that sentence is a long history of their togetherness that dates back to trainee times, where both of them struggled from a young age until finally standing on the world stage as part of BTS. For ARMY, who followed BTS's journey from the beginning, they know very well that Jimin is often referred to as Hyung, who is attentive to Jungkook. When Jungkook, who is still a teenager, had to adapt to the harsh world of trainees, Jimin is present not only as a training partner, but also as a figure who provides emotional comfort. Many old stories are back in circulation after Jungkook's latest statement, including the story of how Jimin always made sure Jungkook didn't feel lonely when going through difficult days. The ARMY's reaction to this statement was truly overwhelming. Hashtags related to Jungkook about Jimin immediately dominated trending on various platforms, especially Twitter/X and Weverse. The fans wrote how much they could feel the emotional bond behind the words. In fact, some ARMY members shared personal experiences that Jungkook's remarks about Jimin also strengthened them, as if the proximity of the two gives real positive energy. Interestingly, many interpreted this remark as proof of the depth of the fraternal bond that exists within BTS. In a large group with global pressure, personal support between members becomes an important factor to survive. Jungkook, known as the Golden Magne, may look strong on the outside, but this confession shows the vulnerable and sincere side of him. He did not hesitate to admit that there was a figure beside him, namely Jimin, who always made sure he did not falter. On the other hand, Jimin himself does have a reputation as a member who is very sensitive to the feelings of others. He has always been known as a mood booster, both behind the scenes and in front of fans. With that character, it's only natural that Jungkook felt that Jimin was one of the emotional foundations that made him get through the tough times. Not only among the ARMY, the Korean media also highlighted this remark. Some news outlets wrote that Jungkook's statement showed a human side of BTS that is rarely seen, that they complement each other not only on stage, but also in personal life. The analysis that emerged said that the bond between the members was what became the true strength of BTS to be able to survive and succeed as much as now. If we look further, Jungkook's words also contain an important message about the meaning of support in a friendship. The world of celebrities is full of pressure, criticism, and demands that can be very exhausting. But having someone to rely on, someone who is always there even without being asked, is the key to surviving in that situation. Jungkook, through his confession, gave a clear picture of how Jimin had played such an important role. What makes this moment even more special is the way ARMY responded with love. A lot of fan art, video edits, to long posts made by fans to celebrate the bond between Jimin and Jungkook. Some even said Jungkook's words were an emotional gift to ARMY, who had always believed in their closeness. If pulled forward, Jungkook's statement will probably always be remembered as one of the iconic moments in BTS history. Those words were not only for Jimin, but also for all the ARMY who always wanted to know how the original members felt about each other. That way, this recognition seems to lock their bond not only in music history, but also in the hearts of millions of fans around the world. Jungkook's statement is ultimately not just a spontaneous sentence, but rather a deep reflection of the sense of togetherness that he felt all this time. In the entertainment world, especially on a global level such as BTS, very rarely is there a moment in which an artist openly admits how much he depends on another figure to stay strong. Jungkook chose to do so, and that figure was Jimin. This further reinforces the picture that BTS is not just a music group. Rather, it is a family built on love, trust, and sacrifice for each other. For ARMY, the sentence was a reminder that behind the glitter of the stage, idols are also human beings who need support. They also have fragile moments, and it is precisely moments like these that show the most real side of the artists they admire. ARMY feels closer, more connected, knowing that the relationship between BTS members is not something polished or engineered, but rather real, deep, and constantly awake despite changing times and situations. Jimin, with all his tenderness, has become an emotional anchor for Jungkook. And Jungkook's confession seems to be a clear proof that Jimin's presence is not only important for him, but also for the entire BTS journey. It can be said, BTS is a global phenomenon that was born not only from talent and hard work, except for the unity and bond between its members. From this we can see how the power of a friendship can change everything. In Jungkook and Jimin's relationship, there is a valuable lesson about the meaning of supporting each other, about how one person can be a light in the dark for another, and how that sincerity eventually resonated far into the millions of listening hearts. Now, Jungkook's words have been recorded as part of BTS emotional history that will not be easily forgotten. Fans will continue to remember that behind all the songs, concerts, and great achievements, there is a simple but very deep story about two best friends who took care of each other. And perhaps therein lies the secret of why BTS can be so loved, because they don't just sing music, but also live in it, together as brothers. That way, when Jungkook said that Jimin was the one who strengthened him, ARMY felt the same way. That their friendship, their bond, and their love as BTS has also strengthened millions of hearts around the world. And that, in the end, is the greatest legacy that will continue to live beyond time.